Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So today we are going to do a comparison video on two Carolina Herrera fragrances. So both of them are part of the Bad Boy collection. You've got the Bad Boy Dazzling Garden and then you've got the Bad Boy Extreme as well. So I am going to compare these two fragrances in today's video. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have noticed that I unboxed the Dazzling Garden, but I didn't unbox the Extreme. And the reason why is because when I ordered both of them, they also sent me a sample of the Extreme fragrance. So before I opened up the Extreme box, I smelled the fragrance. I smelled the sample obviously before opening it up, and it's a really nice scent. It's really nice. It's definitely for winter, but I don't find it unique when I compare it to other fragrances in my collection, and that's why I thought, okay, I don't want to open it up and keep it because it's not something that I need in my collection, and that's why I haven't unboxed it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you like my description of my review of the Dazzling Garden, and then I'm going to kind of tear this apart and smell the sample again and tell you what I think, because I did smell it quite a few times whilst I was reviewing both of them, comparing them side by side. The sample has actually completely finished, but I'm going to like rip it open and see if I can sniff anything in this video, and then obviously tell you what I think of the Extreme. So I'm going to start with the Bad Boy Dazzling Garden. So I'll show you what it looks like. The bottle is exactly the same as the other Bad Boy fragrances in the collection. So you've got like that lightning bolt sign. This one is purple and black, and then of course you've got the gold detail and the logo in gold as well. And then you've got the name of the brand embossed kind of into the stand of the fragrance. So that is how the bottle looks. So Bad Boy Dazzling Garden was actually launched this year. In this you've got top notes of white pepper, grapefruit, middle notes of clary sage and vetiver, and base notes of cacao and tonka bean. So it's defined as a fresh, spicy and a warm, spicy fragrance. It definitely opens fresh and lightly spicy. In fact, let me spray it on one of my arms. So you do have to give it a couple of minutes to kind of settle down. But when you do sniff it, initially it does open quite fresh and lightly spicy. The white pepper and the grapefruit are the most dominant at first, with hints of sage giving that light spicy kick, and also some vetiver. I do think that it's a more mature scent, but I do find it more attractive than the Bad Boy Extreme. So next I will show you the, or not show you, but I'll like try to break apart this sample and see if we can get a little bit of smell from it. We literally finished like the whole sample when I was making my notes, so I know what I think of the fragrance, but I'm just gonna like try to smell it with you guys in the video. So I did manage to open it up, but this foil is like so tight, so I'm just going to cut it open and let's see if we can smell it. Yeah, so it does have some scent left to it. I'm just trying to open it up a bit more. So there's actually absolutely nothing left in this, and I've literally just like teared it apart and cut it as well. But I can just about smell the fragrance, and also from what I can remember, this is more of like a warm, spicy fragrance, and this is the Bad Boy Extreme that we're talking about. It's more like warm, spicy, with a little bit of woodiness in it and some amber notes in it as well. It's a little bit different, the opening to the Dazzling Garden. Sorry, Dazzling Garden opens up a bit more fresh, spicy, whereas the Extreme opens up more warm, spicy. In this, you've got top notes of ginger and bergamot, mid notes of vetiver and cocoa, and base notes of patchouli and tonka bean. So as you can see in both of them, you've got vetiver in the mid notes, and then you've got tonka bean in the base. It does have some similarities, but they do open up differently. This one opens up more, so the Dazzling Garden opens up more fresh, spicy and turns into warm, spicy, and the Extreme is more of a warm, spicy fragrance and ends up a bit more woodier, ambery towards the end. I usually love tonka, especially in fragrances like Madawi by Arabian Oud, but it does have to be balanced with other notes, and in this one I think the tonka in the dry down was a little bit more stronger, Don't get me wrong though, the Bad Boy Extreme is a really nice fragrance. But as I said at the start, I just didn't find it unique. I felt like my husband's got other fragrances like this in his collection, which are probably a little bit more well balanced. So with the Dazzling Garden, even after a couple of hours, you still feel the freshness, the vetiver, and hints of sage. And I found this more finely balanced as compared to the Extreme. You get some cacao as well in the Dazzling Garden, giving the scent like hints of floral without coming across too feminine. In the dry down though, the Dazzling Garden does start to warm up a little bit, but it still remains like lightly spicy, and the vetiver is still most definitely there. Those light hints of cacao. I've actually seen reviews where people say that the cacao is more dominant in the dry down in the Dazzling Garden, but I don't think so. I personally thought on my skin, and even on the blotter and on my clothes as well, that the vetiver was slightly more stronger, but not as an overpowering green scent, but like it was really well controlled and really well balanced. So overall, I'm going to get the full bottle back in the shop, but overall I think the Bad Boy Dazzling Garden and the Bad Boy Extreme do have some similarities, but they are quite different as well. I thought that the Dazzling Garden for me had a plus point because it was more finely balanced and more controlled, whereas in the Extreme the tonka bean is the more dominant note in the dry down, and I could feel some woody ambery notes in the dry down as well in the Extreme, but it just didn't come across unique to me or different. And as I said, I feel like we've got other fragrances in our collection which kind of are similar. I didn't want to add like another similar fragrance to our collection. Another plus point also for the Dazzling Garden is that I find it more attractive than the Extreme. But that's not to say that Extreme is not a good fragrance. Extreme is a very nice fragrance, perfect for winter, and if you like your patchouli tonka bean scents that open up like quite warm spicy, then definitely try out the Extreme. If you like your fresh spicy drying down into a warm spicy fragrance, then definitely try out the Dazzling Garden. So before I end this video, top tip, cacao is not the same as cocoa. So cacao refers to the raw material of the beans that are harvested from the cacao tree, whereas cocoa on the other hand is created after the beans have been finely ground into a powder and roasted, giving us that like chocolate smell. Whereas cacao actually smells a little bit sweet, a little bit floral, and a little bit earthy. So they're both very different notes and very different smells as well. Definitely don't get confused with those two, because sometimes people can make like typing errors. It's very easy to do a typo when you're spelling cacao and cocoa. So yeah, I hope you've learned something new today, and I hope you like my comparison video. I hope you liked my comparison video between the Dazzling Garden and the Extreme. Both are from the Bad Boy collection from Caroline Herrera. If you have any questions, then let me know in the comments box below. Otherwise, I've got another comparison video coming up between two Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances. And also today I've just ordered the sample of Soki London's Aphrodite, because I'm so late in reviewing this, but it's definitely been on my list to try as a summer fragrance, and that review is also definitely coming soon, so look out for that. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys soon.